Today's adventure is on the release mechanism of the tailgate on the Daihatsu Midget II. We're looking at the inside of the lift gate. This motor to the left of my hand is the drive motor that unlatches the back tailgate from a switch which is placed on the dash. And this motor is for the rear windshield wiper, and that is the back side of the key lock to access the cargo area through the tailgate. And the problem I'm trying to solve is that the switch still works and I can still hear the mechanism clicking when I press it on the dash. However, it doesn't completely release the tailgate. It's still locked by this clasp. Now, this clasp has two detents, 1, 2, and what happens when I press the button on the dash, it activates, I need 3 hands to do this. It activates the motor, which pushes the rod, and it should release fully open like this, but what's actually happening is that it's only releasing to the first detent, and you can see inside there that clasp will still hold on to the D-ring secured to the chassis. So that's what I'm trying to figure out today. So it appears this mechanism is working as intended. This is open, so it should slip over the D-ring. You might be able to tell there are 2 different detent clicks as I slide it on. And it is releasing properly. It looks like the issue here is the electric motor pushes the release, but only briefly, kind of like that. And there's not enough outward pressure on the door itself to get past that second detent during the brief period that the electric motor pushes that lever, and it gets caught on the second one. Of course, it needs to clear that one as well. So simply put, these gaskets here are not pushing the door back far enough for the mechanism to actually clear the D-ring when the electric motor is activated. It's just kind of getting caught on that second detent. These gaskets are actually in really good shape. I don't think replacing these would help because they're pretty healthy. I think my solution here will be to move the D-ring striker. These are slightly adjustable on pretty much all cars. They can move around a little bit, so I'm going to move it in to try to bring the door in more firm contact with the springy rubber. And likewise, I'm pretty sure these hinges at the top of the hatch also have at least 1 millimeter or 3 worth of adjustment. I'm going to slide those in so that the hatch itself is pressing a little more firmly against this rubber gasket in hopes that we can get enough pressure to get the door mechanism clear of the D-ring when the electric motor activates. I should also mention that these gas struts that open the hatch play a role in getting the mechanism clear of the D-ring striker, but those things are in good shape. This is that's not our problem, but they do play a role. Relocating the hinges did not solve the problem, but it did lead me to recognize the culprit. These old stoppers here are supposed to make firm contact against the chassis and provide the opening pressure. These things are just dry rotted and no bounce or spring, and they're not long enough. So that's the answer. I'm going to add fresh rubber to these bump stops, and that will push the door open. Ta-da! Solved. One more thing I found interesting If you have the K100C, C is for cargo, of course. So if you have the van and it came equipped with a windshield wiper, you will not have a screw in that hole. They just put a sticker over it, because if there was a screw to go in that hole, it would hit the wiper motor. I assume the cargo vans that didn't have a rear wiper would get a screw there.